Dare not check, but I think we might be live. I think we might be live. It hasn't came up on my screen just yet. If I get a top right notification saying somebody's viewing, then I know we're live. We're live.
I've got a notification to say that you're live, yeah?
We're live. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to TTTV. Sorry about the delay. Sorry about the conversation you might have heard between myself and Ash as well. Oh, goodness me. It has taken me 3 attempts to get this stream underway, but my God, we are live finally. And it seems whatever problem that I had on my end for streaming has totally gone. Very strange, very strange. Anyways, of course, I'm James Tate, going to be taking you through the action here for round 3 of the touring cars. It is CRC, round Ruapuna Park in New Zealand. And of course, I'm joined by Ash Richardson. Ash, how you doing?
Hello, I'm good, yeah. Slight technical difficulties, but we're on board now because Virgin Media are the worst supplier going, but we are, luckily I haven't got issues yet. We may get some from my end, we don't know. But we're in the middle of quali now. We've lost 4 minutes or so, but the times are rolling in and Speedster's on top at the moment.
Yeah, Speedster on top, 24.8. Andy's just gone up to second as well. There's a car off just through turn 1. And there's, of course, one of the McGanns. I think that might have been Sean, if I'm not mistaken. But Andy in P2. Racing at home P3. He is our current leader. He's just about to come out the pits as well. And let's run you through then the championship standings coming into tonight, because we do have permutations afoot if the rain comes here tonight. Racing at home leads on 60 points with RRT Matter in second, along with Speedster on 40 points. Racing at home on 60 points, Matter and Speedster on 40 points. FC Bart is in 4th on 33 points. Andy is in 5th on 30 points. Nissim in 6th on 24. NLR Yogurt, after his very successful debut last week, in 7th on 23. Alan Cabby in 8th on 21. Tiger Kart in 9th, along with me at Orwoff. They're tied for 9th on 16 points coming into tonight. Out of the drivers' standings, obviously Racing at Home has got a 20-point gap. Speedster outscoring him so far within qualifying. It's going to be quite an interesting night, I think, between these two, because let's just say they're not the best of friends.
Well, Racing at Home, top-tier trash talker. And then you've got Speedster, who, I don't know, it's hard to describe Speedster. He's going to go into this, he's got nothing to lose now, and he's going to throw everything at it, and he won't be fazed by trash talking. If anything, it fires him up even more, and Racing at Home knows exactly how to fire him up as well. So we've had a bit of a tit for tat through the score through the week, so they're both absolutely on it this evening, and it'll be really interesting to see if they do get together on track, how many how hard the fists come out, we'll say, let's put it that way. How much space there'll be, I don't think there'll be any.
The track is quite narrow around here. I've commentated on this, I think, 2 or 3 times for Gabra Racing in the past. Around in the, I think it was the Genettas I commentated on. But Speedster, obviously on top. We're going through a lap with him. He's 700s up currently through the first sector. There's a car just ahead of him out on track. I think that's one of the Opals, if I'm not mistaken. Obviously coming into the constructors as well, Blue Line Bellissimo lead on 73 points, Wilson Racing in second on 61. All to play for, I think, in terms of the constructors. And really, are those the only 2 teams that you could really hammer in for the top 2 positions?
Yeah, absolutely, but it's good to see different teams getting up there, and actually they've got quite a considerable advantage. But of course, as we saw in Hockenheim, anything can happen, and the second race is random grid. The track is narrow, and those curbs, they're not very forgiving. They're very, very tall, they're quite old school, and they're quite sharp as well. So if you're in a McGann, which has already got a loose back end, and you hit that curb, you're going to bounce straight into the guy that's on the outside if you're going to pull off a move. So it will be interesting to see if they can make it side by side through some of the corners here. Will Speedster improve? He has.
Oh, yeah.
3/10.
Nearly 3.5 tenths of a second. I mean, he's 5.5 tenths clear of Andy, who's in second. He's just came across the line, I think. Oh, there he is, actually, going a little bit slow. I think he might have just completed off a lap, possibly. And now, actually, bottom right of your screen, Andy has picked up lap time and validation. So you get the race feed, by the way, in the bottom right. He's gone. Do you get get race feed in your bottom right?
No, I don't.
You don't? Oh, you can't see what I'm seeing, which is unfortunate. Like, Bart has just completely and utterly invalidated his times 6 times. Lap time invalidated just came up on the race feed. Quite interesting.
Surprising. Dirty driver.
Racing at home though in second. Let's not talk trash about some of the drivers out of track. Racing at home, 800s up through the first sector here. It is a very difficult track, this Ruapuna Park, and whenever I have commentated around here in the past, we always see the grass getting used on multiple occasions. I think I expect nothing of the same here tonight. I think we expect plenty of grass cutting and corner cutting out on track.
Well, yeah, we saw it in Alton Park, racing home, try and cut the circuit, take the short circuit to try and gain an advantage. So we'll probably see the same here. Yeah, just, I don't know, we just forget there's a section, take a shortcut somewhere. See that little bit just before turn one? Yeah, you'll cut that, take away half the circuit, why not? Anything to win the championship, put it all on the line. Or maybe the end of sector one, he'll just go straight onto sector three. But no, maybe that's what he'll need to beat Speedster this evening. But he has put a quicker time in, and now he's only a 10th behind. So that battle is really tight at the top, while Andy hasn't improved. So these guys are a bit clear of the pack. Yeah,
Matt has got his teammate ahead. I think that's Tiger Cart ahead of him out on track.
Huge oversteer.
Very wide through there. Yeah, he's 2 tenths down. Another wonder, I think, with that amount of oversteer that he received. Oh, the tyres go flying from his teammate there. So Matter in the Renault, of course, and Matter obviously within title contention. He's joined second in the standings coming into tonight. Do not forget about him at all.
Yes, absolutely, and a very consistent driver. He doesn't light up the timing screens. You don't go, oh my god, huge move from Matt. He's just always there. A bit of an Alonso. He's just picked up the points throughout the season. No huge flamboyant moments. You know, we saw in Hockenheim that Bart actually ended up crashing because he couldn't overtake him. Because Matt was just consistently putting the car in the right place lap after lap after lap, and it was very, very impressive. And almost won the Tier 2 championship last year in GT3, and really has one of those drivers that's just picked up pace, and he's actually feeling probably slightly more at home in these cars. And because he's had a bit of a cleaner season, he's actually doing very, very well for himself in the championship.
Yeah, Tiger Kart, his teammate, actually has just gone quicker ahead of him. Obviously, he's in a different livery. I do apologise, he's in a different livery compared to the car. That's why I got confused. But Tiger Kart clearly feels he's done enough. I mean, we've only got 5 seconds of qualifying left. Goodness me, it's gone flying over. Manuel currently in 6th. We've got Bart in 7th. Mia Orwoff in 8th. We're trying to pick out somebody that's nearer to the line. Sean is coming around the final 2 corners now. He's in the BMW, of course, out on track. And Sean, 5.9 seconds off the pace. He's got Sam Hesketh ahead of him. Flaky just ahead of him as well for 11th and 12th. But Sean will be hoping for a better result. Renault, I think, is the better car around here compared to the Opel and the BMW.
There's a lot of acceleration zones, and the way the Renault handles is quite good. The BMW will have a slight traction advantage sort of from mid-apex to exit, where they can just get that power down and not understeering and spinning the inside front wheel. But after that, the Megane's superior power and less weight will just pull them away. Unfortunately, yeah, the class isn't.
Oh, and Emmanuel goes top! Emmanuel goes top at 24.4. He nicks it right at the last second. It's like Recon and TTL F1 League 1. And I wasn't expecting that at all. I thought it was down on his time, but Emmanuel has taken it by 800ths of a second.
He's done the same as Long Beach last season. He's just stolen it right at the death. And
wow.
3 tenths faster in the final sector. That is impressive.
He was
really impressive.
Slower through the first 2 sectors, quicker in the last by 3 tenths of a second. Fantastic stuff. Speedster was slow in the final sector. If he wasn't slow, then I think he would have got pulled quite comfortably. But Emmanuel on top, Speedster second, Racing Home in 3rd, Andy in 4th, Tiger Kart 5th, Matter in 6th, Bart in 7th, Mia Orwoff in 8th, Groundsy, one of our new drivers here in 9th, but has picked up a grid place penalty for extension, for possibly spinning in the pit lane. Alan Cavey as well has picked up a grid place penalty in 10th, Flaky in 11th, Sam Haskett 12th, Sean 13th, H Racing Green 14th, and I'm reliably informed as well Mackinder for You has joined in the session, and we are waiting for him to appear. So we'll be up to 15 drivers for round 3, or race 5 if you like, for Ruapuna Park. And obviously coming into tonight, we've got the qualifying done and dusted. It's really all going to be about that battle, well, in terms of the qualifying, between Emmanuel, Speedster and Racing at Home, and Mackinder for You sadly hasn't joined the session. I saw him join, but he must have disconnected again.
Yeah, maybe not able to get a car. That's a shame, but it'll be interesting to see. Is Emmanuel going to play the Kimi Räikkönen? Is he going to play the team game and hold up Speedster? Or is he going to go, look, I've not had much success in this league. I want to try and get myself a win just to make sure I get something out of this mini league we're running. So I know they have a good relationship, him and Racing at Home, but it'll be interesting to see if Emmanuel can say, well, no, I can help him, or no, I kind of want this. So we'll see his race pace. I guess it all depends on his race pace.
It's going to be fascinating to see what happens out on track, and Emmanuel and Speedster obviously on the front row of the grid. Just a big spoiler alert as well. Speedster's got 22 litres of fuel in. Emmanuel's got 28 litres of fuel in. Speedster, he's going to be quicker off the start, but could he run out of fuel by the end?
He's light on fuel, yeah, but maybe he's planning that so he can maybe get away and then save some fuel, but Speedster really needed the help from his teammate in this round, and Bart's just too far away to give him a hand. So Speedster's on his own while he's got two out and behind. Andy's there in fourth. He may be able to pick up any scraps if there are some fights between Racing at Home and Speedster, or Emmanuel and Speedster. And then you've got the two ILR boys. As I said, Bart will be looking to try and help Speedster. Down in seventh, Mia Olaf, Alan and NLR boys slightly lower down than we thought they'd be. Maybe struggling a little bit. Sam, Sean and H Racing Green, who's not had the opportunity to do much practice this week. He's towards the back, but will be really interesting. But I think we're about to go.
Yeah, here we go. The lights are about to come on here at Ruapuna Park. There's a car desyncing on my screen there. I think that was a Racing at Home. But it is lights out and away we go. Tremendous start by Andy. What a start by the Scotsman. He's up into the lead of the race already. So the Scotsman is through. He's into the lead of the race, is ready. Was that a jump start, I wonder? I don't think it was. A fantastic start by Andy. He gets to the lead of the race early. Emmanuel in second, Speedster in third. Apologies about the shocking camera angles here. Down into turn one, and there's a bit of contact. There's quite a few cars up. Oh, there's a car in the air. Not sure what's going on here. Racing at Home, I think that was. Catching up with Mia Olaf. I think it was. But Racing at Home's down at the back of the field. He was the car, I think, that ran wide into the gravel, if I'm not mistaken. So Racing at Home's chances now have gone, well, from hero to zero, pretty much, if I've got to be honest. Andy has dropped to third as well. So Speedster now leads Emmanuel second, Andy in third. But to me, it looked like there was a whole load of desync off that start.
Yes, I mean, Racing at Home is the lobby host, so he probably hacked it to try and make sure there was some contact and get himself a lead, but it's backfired, so we're all quite smug about that. No, actually Emmanuel didn't hold the lead off the start. He obviously had a slow start, but you did say that Speedster would be quicker off the start because of his lower fuel. That 5 litres fuel did make the difference, but Emmanuel's trying to, well, it looks like he's trying to mate with Speedster at the moment, because he's right up the back of him. It could be decent, not really sure. I don't know what happened to Andy. He must have made a mistake. Racing at Home towards the back, absolute carnage. It'd be interesting to see what actually happened at that first section. But it looks like Andy's got a 2-second penalty, so maybe he had a tried to slow down and didn't slow down enough, let's say. So Emmanuel, that's the thing with some of these penalties, you've got to just take them. But Emmanuel's going for a move on the outside of Speedster. What do you make it to turn one? No, Speedster hold the line.
Yeah, Speedster holding the line there. Andy picking up a 2-second penalty. I think he might have corner cut somewhere in that middle sector. So Andy now down to third, and he's struggling. He's got RRT Tiger Car right on the back of him, so the RRT driver. Matter as well, main championship protagonist as well. He's joined second coming into tonight. Flaky is disconnected. There was another disconnect as well, and there Alan has disconnected as well. So Speedster, and Emmanuel's down the inside of him. Can he get the lead of the race? He can!
He's going to close the door here. Will he close the door on him?
Just about, yeah. So good stuff. Fantastic stuff by Emmanuel. Gets the move done. Can Speedster try and battle back? He just parks it on the apex like he's parking a bus pretty much. And Speedster trying to go around the outside. Not quite close enough, but Emmanuel leads Speedster second. Andy is in third, and these two beginning to battle, beginning to let the guys behind, Andy, LRT, Matter and Bart into play.
Absolutely, and this is what Bart wants. Bart wants to be up there to help Speedster, and it's a shame for Andy because he got away so well. It's just one of those things that you learn in practice. Some corners are good to give the time back, some corners aren't, and unfortunately he's got caught out by that. But sometimes you can feel it's 2 seconds, and actually the slowdown far outweighs the actual time penalty. And I think he's tried to back off, and then it's got him anyway. But it looks like Tiger Car's got a better run here.
Much better run. Took the inside line coming through the final corner. Andy sticking to the outside line. Always going to have traction on the inside line as opposed to the outside around here. And now Tiger Car is through, and he's up into P3. Andy beginning to struggle. Wonder if he's got a little bit of damage to that car from earlier contact or a moment possibly into the gravel or into the grass. I'm not sure. We might have hit a tyre or something. I don't know. Answers on the postcard for that one.
Any visual damage, but again, in this game, sometimes you don't.
Oh, has he gone? Don't know what has happened, but Speedster in the meantime is on the back of Emmanuel. Is Ash there? Or have we lost in that type trim? Are you back?
And I'm back. Yes.
What happened there?
There's a small drop, some party error, and then I'm back in. So everyone's connection is a bit strange this evening.
Very strange. Speedster on the back of Emmanuel. Just saying, 4 minutes into the race. Hopefully we're going to get both races for you here tonight with commentary. Emmanuel a little bit wide there. Now Speedster is going to get the inside line into the final corner. And I think Speedster's going to have this one. Shuts the door on Emmanuel. A little bit of bumping and barging there into the final corner. Racing almost picked up a penalty further down the field. But Speedster is now into the lead of the race from Emmanuel in second. And touring cars at its finest here in CRC. Only onto lap 4. And Emmanuel's trying to go around, all the way around the outside through turn 1. Can he get the job done? Seems to me as if the connections have sorted itself out within the lobby, which is good to see. So hopefully we don't see any party errors or anything like that. But Speedster leads from Emmanuel in second, Tiger Car in third, Andy in fourth, Bart in fifth, and to be honest, I think the front two are beginning to pull away now.
Yeah, even though they're battling, they are actually beginning to pull away. It didn't look like a big mistake from Emmanuel, but Speedster took just so much speed. Oh, good grief, that was close. Oh, he has actually made a mistake. He scared him. Yes, he scared him into a mistake, and Emmanuel's alongside Speedster. Who's going to hold it? I think it's a right-hander here, so I think Speedster's going to hold it.
Oh, they're leaning on each other. Goodness me. Bit of bumping and barging still here in the touring cars, but Speedster now leading the way. Emmanuel in second. There's another retiree out of the race. Just trying to pick up on who that might have been. Can't see who it was, but Speedster leading the way from Emmanuel in second. ILRT Mate is in third. ILRT Tiger Card, sorry, in third. And Tiger Card's now on the back of these three. On the back of these two.
Yeah, they were pulling away, and then they just through that side by side through a couple of corners. Tiger Cat's actually sort of just inching up to the back of them. Now he's got a little bit of clean air, a little bit of a gap, and it does look like Speedster's pulling away from Emmanuel. So has Emmanuel gone too hard on his tyres? But Emmanuel should have a little bit more fuel, so he should be able to push a little harder throughout the rest of this race. So, or has Emmanuel overfueled? You know, I mean, there's this to and fro. Can Speedster use less fuel around here? Is he a slightly more conservative driver on the engine? You know, there's so much to play out here. But it only takes a tiny mistake here to upset your flow, and it looks like Emmanuel's strapped fast in a straight line as well.
1.2 litres of fuel, I think, is getting sewn up every single lap, and is getting eaten up every single lap in terms of the fuel. I honestly think Speedster might have to pit near the end of the race. I think he's really underfueled here, and everyone else looks fine. I mean, Emmanuel's on 21 litres of fuel, pretty much, just over, coming into the middle sector. But Speedster, I fear, has underfueled quite considerably out on track, and I have a feeling he's misjudged it completely. I'm not sure. This will come more prevalent, I think, when we get later on into the race.
Yeah, it's a shame we've lost so many drivers, you know, because there are bound to be a lot of drivers with those mistakes going on track, but we'll see how it plays out. It's interesting that Bart isn't able to close the gap any more than he is, because Speedster really wants him there, you know, to help him out. Emmanuel's still there hassling Speedster for racing at home, but racing at home he's not making his way up through the pack either. So he got to 8th place, he's taken up a penalty, and he's just down there behind the other ILR car, and there's quite a few cars for him to pass to catch up. But as you can see, Emmanuel's faster in a straight line here, looking to the outside. He's just hoping to put Speedster off here. I don't think he'll outbrake him. You know, here we go. No, he's moving the car on Emmanuel. He's all over the place. He's near, he's basically waiting. Hey, I'm here, I'm here. Every braking, every traction, every apex. Like, even he's sweating Speedster, because he's not letting him go.
Yeah, Speedster's driving very well. He just had a bit of a lock-up in towards turn 1. Emmanuel trying to outdo him. I think Speedster now knows what Emmanuel's trying to do. He tries to put him off, like again there, through the left-hander, turn 4. But currently, Speedster leads the way, Emmanuel second, Tiger Cart in third. So here's somebody who's getting slowly into this race. Mia Olwoff in 6th position is now beginning to latch on to the back of Bart. He's 1.5 seconds away, but that gap is significantly closed.
Yeah. It seems that you can stay close to someone on this circuit, but it's difficult to pass. But Speedster, you know, we saw some racky driving from him in Milton Park. Hockenheim was a much better display, and here it looks like he's just driving very, very cleanly. He knows what Emmanuel's trying to do. He has moved to the inside now, so Emmanuel's done enough to make him worried about taking the position. And he won't make it around the outside, but he tried for a better exit. No, he's lost too much time there.
Yeah, inside line always going to work round through the final corner. Emmanuel is on the back, but nearly through halfway through the race. Speedster leads onto lap 7 from Emmanuel second. RRT Tiger Kart is third, Andy in fourth, Bart in fifth. Are we going to see Emmanuel pull off a move here? Nearly goes into the back of him, in fact, down in towards turn 1, but not quite close enough. In the meantime, Mia Orwoff is on the back of Bart. Bart must have made a significant mistake at the final corner, because now that gap has really closed down to what now is 6-7 tenths of a second. Mia Orwoff is flying out on track.
And I know that the outside tyre is taking a beating right here, and in the TTL that's going to take even more of a beating, and you're going to scrub it even more. So that's why we're seeing people sort of go behind someone and then fall back a little bit and then close back up again. If they can't make the move, it just builds, that temperature builds, and they can't lose it in the tyre. So you've got to be able to close up and make the move quickly, or else you sit there and you just cook them and cook them and cook them, especially in cars like this. But so with that said, shows how much of a good job Emmanuel is doing behind Speedster. As I say that, he runs wide.
Nearly a commentator's curse.
Yes, absolutely. But I think Speedster's wise to Emmanuel's moves now. He's not putting him off at all. He looks very cool, calm, and collected out there. But does that mean he hasn't been able now to fuel save maybe as much as he wanted? Because that question mark is there over his fuel use.
11.7 litres of fuel coming across the line. He improved by 1,000th of a second on his time. That's how consistent Speedster is being out in front. Emmanuel in second. Tiger Kart's not out of this entirely, but Andy is now beginning to get going. He's right on the back of Tiger Kart coming through as H Racing Green has disconnected from the session. So unfortunately for H Racing Green, he is out of the session. I wonder actually if it's something to do, as actually we're seeing, needing an overtake for the lead of the race. Emmanuel trying to go around the outside. I wonder if Speedster made a slight mistake there. Emmanuel tried to have a go at him. Didn't quite catch that, to be honest. I just saw they were about 1,000th away from each other. But Speedster hanging on to Emmanuel for now, and Andy is on the back of Tiger Kart.
I did see some tyres going flying. There it is. I don't know who hit that, but someone's clouted that, and that's not going to do their front end aero any good.
Emmanuel's down the inside!
Here.
It's contact!
Oh, is that a bump and run? Or is Emmanuel going to keep the move?
I think it's a bump and run. You can tell by the flashing lights. Emmanuel, maybe, I don't think he was too late. I think Speedster broke slightly later than Emmanuel. He might let him through here. I think the best thing to do is to let him through, not pick yourself up a penalty later on.
The difficulty is, you can't, because we didn't have a camera angle like this where you can see the whole track, you don't know if Emmanuel was far enough up the inside and Speedster turned in, or if Emmanuel lunged it and was late and Speedster was already turning in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There could have been that thing where Speedster turned in on his normal racing line and Emmanuel was already there. If we had a better camera angle, that would have been much easier to see.
Emmanuel's got a penalty.
There was definite contact there. Did Emmanuel get? He's obviously.
Yeah, it's 1 second penalty. 1 second penalty, which I think is to do. Yeah, I think it's to do with corner cutting, to be honest. So Emmanuel obviously has cut a part of the track where obviously the game has deemed it necessary for it to be cut. Top 8, by the way, is separated by less than 10 seconds. Here we go. Trying to get out of on the trackside. Come on, Emmanuel's coming across him. Speedster down the inside line, forces his way through. Touring cars at its finest. Speedster gets through. I think that was fair racing, to be honest.
That was a very, very good move. I mean, Emmanuel, he's going to dive down the inside here. Same corner? Is it the same corner? Oh, he's got right. Emmanuel's still there with Speedster. Wow.
This is the same corner.
That was really impressive.
I think later on the brakes, there's more contact between them both. Look at Tiger Kart. Where's he came from? My goodness me. He's on the back of this, and it's only 1.4 seconds separating the top 4.
He's waiting for some sparks to come out here.
Oh, sorry, I've come on board with bloody Sam by mistake. My controller is glitching out. Come on, work with me. My controller has spazzed out. There we go, we're back.
Are we back on? We haven't missed anything.
I was pressing the left and right instead of up, down, up, down. That's what was going on there.
I see. Oh, they're both tight off the last corner, but really good driving there by Speedster, because he telegraphed early to Emmanuel, like, hey, I'm going to go down the inside here, and Emmanuel was like, I'm going to close the door now, and Speedster said, well, I'm here, mate. I'm here, and I'm holding the door open. And then later on, Emmanuel tried to go around the outside, and Speedster just left the car in the middle of the road, and there was contact. So really interesting to see Speedster isn't one sort of maybe going too far, maybe like Elton Park, he's a step too far with some of the drivers. In this one, he's doing just enough, where it's actually really, really good moves, and it's great to see that he's picked up there.
It's gone for the bumper cam on the back of on the front of Tiger Cart's car. Oh, there's a car round. Who was that? That was Matter, I think it was, going sideways. He literally cut into second for a minute there. Goodness me.
Yeah, I mean, that'll be difficult for him because he's also a title contender. Is Emmanuel down the inside? He's not down the inside. Is there enough room there? Will he rob the Speedster? He has bumped Speedster a little bit. They're side by side now coming off the corner. Speedster to unwind the steering to make sure he tried to get the traction down. Manuel's still up the inside. They're both side by side. Oh, yeah. He will let him back through, I think.
No, Speedster's not having any of that at all.
I mean, he gave as good as he got there, but I think Emmanuel was just lifting out slightly to lean, but come back alongside because that was unintentional. But the elbows are out. The gloves are off, the elbows are out. It's the last but one round. And Tiger Cart's almost got his nose chopped off there. He's got to be careful here that he wants to make something out of this. He doesn't want to lose out if something goes wrong. But Andy's waiting there to try and make something out of everything. So, yeah, everyone's trying to fight for their own piece of real estate here, but the track's too narrow.
It's like old British touring cars, this, to be honest. It's like Jason Plato against Matt Neal once again. Fantastic stuff.
Yes, absolutely. There'll be a punch up in the pit lane as well. Just a good measure.
Emmanuel's down the inside line of turn 3. Can he get the move done? He can't. Speedster hangs on to the lead of the race. Andy is trying to get in close as well. And now Emmanuel's down the inside line. Speedster sees him coming. Oh, and he's totally locked up. That, I think, was an outbreak there from Emmanuel, to be honest. Not sure if that was that's a 50-50 one, I think we can call that. Tiger Cart now through on Speedster. And Speedster actually, I think, just gets let through. Oh, in fact, he goes way too deep. And Speedster now has got it all to do. Emmanuel in the lead, but whether it's a fair lead remains to be debated.
Yeah, we'll have to see some footage on that. From what our view looked like Emmanuel went for the lunge, brake very, very late. Speedster left him room, but Emmanuel was broadside coming into that corner's front and rear's locked. So, and then also made contact with Speedster to make the move. So we'll have to see what that's looking like. But that looks like it's just pushed Speedster over the edge. He's starting to lose a little bit of his composure here, as you saw in the following corners with Tiger Cart. Tiger Cart's doing a very, very good job, it must be said, because these guys are not easy to race against. They're very fast and they're very aggressive. But the Speedster can regain his composure a little bit. I know he needs to win. But it won't be the end of the world if Emmanuel does take the win from him, and it could come down to a stewards decision anyway. But it looks like Andy's getting past Speedster now. Is he slow now in the straight line? Has he got that much damage?
Oh my goodness me, so close. Emmanuel's running a little bit wide as well. Take this back to the trackside cam. It's Emmanuel who leads, Tiger Cart second, Speedster third, Andy in fourth. You can throw a towel over the top four out on track. There's 0.6 of a second separating. McKinnon for you is probably trying to get on the action and try and come into the commentary box. I can see his mic moving on the left hand side there. He's probably enjoying this watching on. Speedster in second at the moment, but Andy trying to get the move done on Tiger Cart, and actually Speedster got the move done on Tiger Cart. My apologies. So Speedster's through, he's up to second, Tiger Cart now down to third, and Andy on the back of these guys as well. And Mia Olwoff is coming into this as well. This is fantastic stuff.
So it was really good to see that Speedster then made a clean, he sort of composed himself for half a lap to a lap. Yeah. Then was like, I'm going to come back past you, Tiger Cart. And Tiger Cart didn't put up a huge fight because he knows he's not in the championship, but he also didn't wreck his own race. He didn't completely lie down, he didn't wreck his own race. So very smart driving from Tiger Cart there. Speedster's now back. He's chasing Emmanuel. It looks like he's slightly faster than Emmanuel when Emmanuel makes these mistakes as he's doing. So it'll be interesting to see how hard Speedster comes back at Emmanuel, because there was arguably that move was made with contact. Will there be contact, returning contact? Will Speedster return the serve, let's say? But it's interesting to see Matt so low down, considering he's within a shot of the championship as well. Him and Racing at Home is still quite low in the field, so they must have quite considerable damage, because otherwise they'd be up here, they'd be both catching up like these other guys like Mia Olwoff and Andy and Tiger Cart, you know?
Manuel still leads, Speedster second. This is the penultimate lap of the race. I've made it out. It's going to be about a minute when they come across the line. So Emmanuel leads, Speedster second. Emmanuel just looked like he went a little bit too deep there. Speedster trying to get a go at him to try and get the move done, and these two are really going at it. In the meantime, going at it in the background, it's Racing at Home, who's recovered really well up to seventh, and I don't know how he's only 5 seconds off the lead. compared to, because he was off through turn 1. Oh my goodness me, Bart!
How has he saved that? He's Ken blocked it, he's all over the place, he's in the grass, he's up the curb, and he's managed to stop the car from rolling. Really, really impressive. And Racing Home cutting the track there, what a surprise.
Rest of the home actually trying to follow in, I think, on the Clem block moment there.
He's actually caught up very, very far. Oh, wow! Up on the stream as well. Good, get him out, give him a ban. Unbelievable scenes. He's just making his own track. I'm the host, I'll make my own track. That's fine.
Dear me.
But he is catching up, and I know there's a little bit of rivalry, a little bit of needle between Bart and Racing at Home, so it'll be interesting to see who comes out on top. But Speedster hasn't got very long, and now Emmanuel's not making mistakes. He's pulling away.
Yeah, Speedster, Tiger Car are wary of the danger of Speedster just ahead. There could have easily been contact there if he tried to full-on go for the move. He's trying to outsmart him though, but Emmanuel now 7/10 in front. But Speedster, because he's got no counter penalties, will win out on track with, I think, Tiger Car coming in second position because he hasn't got a penalty either. So if they stay within a second, we could see Speedster and RRT Tiger Car up the first and second out on track. It's about a second. Andy has just made a little bit of a mistake there in fourth. He's been doing a fantastic job. Tiger Car just needs to sneak in by, well, he needs to be 9/10 off Emmanuel essentially, and he is now. Whether it's by the end of the race remains to be seen because we've only got half a lap to go, and Emmanuel leads, Speedster in second. I think Speedster is going to dive it into the final two corners.
Well, no,
you can see this.
There's no need because he's actually played very, very smart. He can see the penalties on the left-hand side.
Yeah.
He's going to just hold position. Very, very smart. I didn't pick up on that, so well said, James, because he'll just stay within this gap now. He's very, very smart. As long as he doesn't lose enough time to Tiger Car, he'll just stay within the second.
Who is going to get the win of the race? Because Tiger Car's attacking Speedster through the final corner. Very close indeed. It could drop him out of a second as well. Watch out for the timings. This is going to be close. Emmanuel's across the line. Speedster second. And ILRT Tiger Kart in the end is third, and I think there was something like 0.005 of a second separating from second to third.
So Tiger Kart did a really, really smart race there, but just at the end he lost that time trying to overtake Speedster in the final corner, ran wide, and he lost the position. He could have got second there if he was just stayed on the normal line.
Yeah, so unfortunate, I think, honestly, for ILRT Tiger Car. In fact, he picked up a penalty. I've just noticed that. He picked up a penalty. It must have been through the final two corners.
Last corners, yeah.
A second penalty. We've got Sean coming through the final corner now. The BMW has not taken to this track at all, but he's going to finish in 9th. After all the early contact, I think that's a good result, to be honest, for Sean. He will pick up points. Sam Hesketh has continued on as well. I think he had a bit of a desync moment earlier on in the race. He had contact earlier on as well. And Sam Hesketh, he can tell by the way he's going through the corner, he is lagging on my screen anyways. But Sam Hesketh going to be coming across the line for 10th position, and the top 10 of course all score points. My god, Speedster wins from Emmanuel in second. In the end, there was only 0.2 of a second between Speedster and Emmanuel. Tiger Kart in third, Mia Owoff is fourth, Andy with a 5-second time penalty in fifth, Racing at Home in sixth with a 3-second penalty, Matter in seventh with 2 seconds worth of penalties, Bart in eighth with 9 seconds worth of penalties. Goodness me, Bart.
Good grief.
Sean in ninth, Sam Hesketh in 10th, and it was Groundsy, the driver, that retired out of the race. So it was Groundsy, the one I didn't pick up on.
Yes,
he's in the session. But we've had a few disconnects, and I wonder actually if Alan and the likes are going to take part in the second race, because I don't think I've seen them join, if I'm not mistaken.
It'd be good if they could, because you know you want to just participate in the finale, even if you've got nothing much to fight for.
Do you know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking to myself, we're going to go straight into the second race, but remember, we've got to go back into the lobby, haven't we?
Yeah, we're going back into the lobby. We'll reset the conditions to a random grid. We'll make sure Racing at Home's at the back, and
no, everyone is in. Everyone is in. We've got NLI Yogurt here as well, who came in for the second race, which is good to see. Alan, by the way, is not in, and neither is H Racing Green. So those two you can take out of your calculations, but everyone else is in. We've got Yogurt in. Speaking of which, Alan has just literally joined back for the second race, which is good to see. And hopefully we can get Racing at Home, H Racing Green in as well. And we'll be on to full complement of the grid for the final round of the season.
Absolutely, absolutely. That would be really nice to see the season out that way. We've had great attendance. It's been great racing, and that was a fantastic race to watch. Little bit of questionable contact, both from Speedster to Emmanuel and then Emmanuel on Speedster. More so Emmanuel on Speedster. There was a couple of running wide moments and pushing each other wide and a bit of contact. But then in the end, I think Speedster was quite happy because he was able to play it smart, stay close to Emmanuel and get the win there. So that's honestly probably one of the most composed drives I've seen from Speedster. Emmanuel was throwing everything at him, and say that was Alton Park, Speedster have had Emmanuel off. So that was, he kept his cool, and even when he got rattled and Tiger Cat got past, and you could see he was kind of off the line, he was all over the place, he took half a lap. It only took him half a lap, he recomposed, got past Tiger Cat and just stayed close. So really impressive drive.
Really impressive drives from everyone, I think, out on track, which is very good to see. I'm just trying to see, by the way, there's the live stream. Just trying to see if we've got any comments coming in. Internet issue for race 1, said Alan, I should say. Ali, goodness me. Yeah. Flaky and I got disconnected. Speedster is ahead of Jake by 1 point in the season. Going into tonight, Nissim's just done the calculations. It is 69 points, Speedster on 65. So rest of the home leading 69 points, Speedster in second on 65 points, coming into the final race of the season. And of course, it is it says to me it's a 10-minute qualifying and a 20-minute race. I don't think that's the case. I think we might be waiting on Racing at Home to get back to his console and change that. But race 1 over and done with. Race 2 at Ruapuna Park. Random grid. What can we expect?
Carnage. No. We can expect... It's interesting. You've got to wait to see the grid. But with these random grid races, final race of the season as well, that's going to play a big hand in things, because people know that it might get a bit rougher because there's no round coming up after this. We will see people sort of putting everything on the line. If we thought that race was borderline, we were going to see this race where people are really going to try hard to finish on a high. You've got Yoga in now, and we know how fast he is naturally. So it'd be interesting to see how he stacks up against Speedster and Emmanuel, where they're going to place on the grid. Will luck favour Racing at Home? Will he have glitched the lobby to make him go pole? I wouldn't rule it out. So, did you say there's 1 point separating them now?
There is 4 points separating them. 69 points for Racing at Home and 65 points for Speedster. Because of the change of positions, Racing at Home coming through the field because of Bart's penalties. I think that's why he's now 4 points ahead rather than just the 1.
Yeah, it was good to see them battle, but again, Racing at Home probably took the smarter move and said, well, I'll just stay behind you because you've got so many penalties. In this race, I think we might see a couple more penalties because people are going to be taking some tight lines, some wide lines, really throwing everything at it. But I'm really interested to see how it works out. But I'm more interested to see how the grid sits. Oh, here we go.
Let me run you through then the order out on track, as Andy has disconnected from the session. So Andy is not taking any further part in this session tonight. 15 minutes worth of action still yet to come. He's actually retired on my screen. On the right-hand side of the race feed. But Groundsy on pole. Matter is in second. Interesting. Yogurt in third. Tiger Cart fourth. McKinder for you fifth. Flaky in sixth. Sam Hesketh seventh. Bart in eighth. H Racing Green ninth. Sean in 10th. Speedster in 11th. Ahead of Racing at Home in 12th. There you go. They're starting on the same row of the grid, which is fantastic. Emmanuel in 13th, Amir Olworth in 14th, and Alan right at the back of the field. It's pretty much how I wanted to expect the race to be honest. I wanted them to be at the back. They're at the back. Yeah. Let's see a good, clean battle between them both. Let's hope.
It's going to be great to see. I think Yogurt's going to be leading by lap 2 or 3. He's got some fantastic pace. Matt will be hoping to just stay up there to make sure he solidifies that second or third place in the championship, I should say. And Speedster and Racing at Home on the same row of the grid. Luck has not favoured Racing at Home. He's behind Speedster again. But he will want to get past Speedster and then leave Speedster with Emmanuel again so he can pull away. Whether that'll happen or not, I don't know, because I don't think Speedster's going to let Racing at Home pass if his life depends on it, to be honest with you.
It's going to be completely fascinating what is going to happen out on track. We're only down to the 15 drivers, with Andy, of course, retiring out of the session, but hopefully we will see him at some point in the near future in Project Cars. I'm not sure if he's signed up for LMP3, but we are about to get underway once again. 15 minutes worth of action. The 3 red lights and then the green light will come on. As Andy has joined the session, Hatris and Green get to drive through penalty, but it is lights out and away we go. And it is actually LRT Matter who gets the jump from the lead of the race. So Groundsy and Matter going side by side. There's a car already going slow ahead. Yogurt, I think that hasn't started. So Yogurt, I don't think has started actually out on track. Through turn 1. Oh, and this contact, McKinder for you, has gone off track. And that, I think, was catching up with Groundsy off track as well. Groundsy has recovered on the track. There's all sorts of carnage as well. Emmanuel's been caught up. Racing at Home is involved in this, is he?
Oh, good grief.
No, he's not. Racing at Home's up to 4th. Racing at Home's off track.
Fantastic.
And he comes ahead of Speedster. Goodness
Making his
me.
own track.
Goodness me. Racing at Home and Speedster up to 5th and 6th early on. But it's the 2 LRT boys out in front. What on earth happened there? Goodness me. Contact between them both. Oh. Getting a bit tetchy out on the track.
That was very, very interesting. I mean, a bit of first corner contact. Racing Home played it really, really well, and then after he made the mistake, Speeds to just stick his nose in the outside. What is it? What is going on? You can't cut the track. Racing at Home, you can't cut the track.
There was a car off there. I think it was H Racing Green. I think, if I'm not mistaken, or McKinder for you was. As McKinder for you, somebody was off, and Racing Home was out the 4th because they were in 5th and 6th. So somebody's obviously gone up. Oh, there's a spinner in the background. Oh, there's more contact in the background. And that looked like it was Mia Olwoff getting caught up in that. Alan has been caught up in that as well.
Yeah. Yogurt, I think, as well.
Yeah, Yogurt.
Alan, Emmanuel. That's a real shame.
Oh, Groundsy, one of the 2. Yeah, it was Groundsy, actually.
Groundsy. Okay, yeah, that's a real shame.
Oh, look at this between
on here.
Racing at Home and Speedsters. Speedsters got the move done on Racing at Home. Down the inside and towards turn 1, and actually Speedster's already got the move done. Racing at Home is not happy with how this car is set up at all. He's flashing his lights. Focus on the race rather than flashing the lights, I think.
Was there contact there between those 2, or was he just unhappy?
Been. Oh!
Good grief!
McKinder for you! Jeez! Louise! My goodness me!
Full sending them again.
Petter Solberg-esque coming out of turn 4. There's a car wide in the background. Oh, there's more contact in the background. Sean has been caught up with Sam Hesketh, I think, in that contact. Flaky as well has been caught up in that wrong place at the wrong time.
Car in the air and everything.
Car in the air and everything. There's so much going on. McKinder for you has picked up a time penalty even for his Tokyo Drift. Alan is off through turn 1 as well. Saw that in the background of shot. But it is Matter who leads the way from Tiger Car in 2nd. Boss has got his teammate right behind him in 3rd and 4th. This is the position where Speedster wants to be to really gain the title.
Yeah. So Matt's doing a fantastic job out ahead again, plodding on, being consistent. Here's the move from Bart. Bart's moved out of the way now, so Speedster can pass. Understandable between teammates, better communication than it was in Alton Park.
Is he quick enough?
Yeah,
I don't think he is. Oh, no, let's him through.
Yeah. And Racing at Home is here now. I know there's a bit of needle between him and Bart, and I don't think Bart's going to give that up because he just moved across the blocking. So I thought Racing at Home would be faster than this. I didn't expect Speedster to take the position on lap 1. Racing at Home was a little bit racky. We saw him on the grass and things, and I don't really know what happened, but Speedster got through. If there was any issues there, we will hear afterwards in the stewards inquiry, but it doesn't look to be any damage on the car, so I doubt it. Maybe he made a mistake and got past, but it's definitely not the position he wants to be in, because he needs to be closer than this.
Speedster, as it stands, I think has got a couple of points ahead of Racing at Home, if I'm not mistaken. Are we using the normal F1 points system?
No, we're not. And there's a point for pole and fastest lap. So
right.
It's 15 per win. I think it's British Touring Cars win scale.
Oh, so actually,
scale.
So if it's it'll be 15, 12, 10, 8, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so, because that's why the points numbers are so low on total. Yeah. So Racing at Home, I think he can afford to finish 1 position behind Speedster, but I don't think he can afford to finish 2 because Speedster got that point for pole. Speedster
has also got the fastest lap of the race as well.
Well, he's doing everything he can then. He's doing ticking all the boxes, let's say.
For now, anyways, he's got the fastest lap of the race. I think it was a 25.7. He said he's only a thousandth up actually on that fastest lap. So he's really consistent out on track. He's pulling the gap out to Bart. Bart is going to have to defend off Racing at Home. In the meantime, I think Olaf is getting closer to the back of Emmanuel, who's already picked up a penalty for track limit extension. Olaf, though, down the inside line. Can he get the move done? The Italian on Emmanuel. Don't think he's going to be quite close enough. Coming through the kink at turn 2. Now through turn 3. Olaf playing it smart, but Emmanuel holds on to the position. McKinley Few is somehow still in 6th after early contact with NLR Groundsy.
Yeah, full contact there, and a lot of guys with damage, unfortunately, and it's not going to see them go through the whole race with damage, but it's good to see them continue. And going with the damage rather than just retire. So that's really cool. Speedster's now pulling away from Bart, and Bart looks to really be holding up Racing at Home. So not really going his way. Yeah,
Racing at Home is trying to try and force his way through. He's split even through the middle sector. Just to point out as well, Yogurt has retired from the race, Sam Hesketh has retired from the race, as has H Racing Green, so all 3 of them are out of the race. Racing at Home, though, in the meantime, down the inside of Bart, through the final corner, not quite close enough. He's 2 seconds off the back of Speedster. McKinley for you is catching as well. This is not the best position to be in. New fastest lap of the race, nearly a new fastest lap of the race by Speedster, 25.8 out on track. He's quickest out of everyone out on track, and I think that was Tiger Kart making a mistake through turn 1, or he's certainly slower than Speedster in behind. There's another retiree. Alan has retired from the race. Olaf and Emmanuel were having a good battle. They just came up in a bit of contact, I think, which was caught off stream. So now Mia is going to go through. Emmanuel, Mia.
They're both trying to let each other through.
There we go.
Yeah,
Mia's
Emmanuel's
through.
trying to let him through.
There we
Mia
go.
Thought we'll hold the position. So courteous driving at least, and they can tell that maybe it was more of a racing incident one to the other because they're both trying to let each other through. But good to see that they can have that maturity in this league to say, hey, look, I know I messed up there, and have the position back. So
Racing Home's gone ahead of Bart.
Bart, what are you doing, man? I'm not paying you again.
I think he's made a mistake. He has to have made a mistake because Racing at Home, Bart's got 2-second penalty. Racing at Home has not got anything at this moment in time. And now we're going to see a battle for the lead. Matters went wide, and I think Tiger Kart's down the inside. And Tiger Kart is through, and he's into the lead of the race. Matter has blown a second lead that he had over Tiger Kart.
I really didn't expect that. I thought Tiger Kart would hold station because they're on the same team, and Matt has a higher position in the championship. I thought he'd hold position, but Matt didn't even defend that. He just accepted it. So I really didn't expect to see that. So the speed's just closing right up now.
There's a longer game plan to this, I think. I think Matter has been instructed to hold up Speedster as much as possible for Racing at Home to win the title. I think this is what's going on here, because Matter is behind Speedster in the championship. It makes sense to do so, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. Racing Home trying to fix races. But,
Speedster's down the inside! Matter! And he's pulled it off! Fantastic stuff. Very late
Matt
on the brakes.
Left the door open. Yeah, late on the brakes. Matt left the door open and Speedster's like, well,
Matt's coming back on the inside. This is it. And he's forced him off track. Matter forced him off track. There's contact between them both. And they've been caught up in contact. Racing at Home might have just been granted the title there. Over aggressive. Matter had the plan, which is literally what I said. Maybe hold up Speedster, but that is not the right way to do it.
I think both of them were a bit over-aggressive there, but I think Speedster's going to dive. Racing at Home. Yeah, he has.
It's not. It's Bart. It's Bart.
No. Is that Bart?
Yeah.
Good grief.
McKinley fused him behind as well.
What is my... I'm just going to throw everything at this. McKinley's going to dive Bart. Bart's going to come back in on McKinley. No, Bart's going to stay wide. There's contact there. He's forced that wide, and as you said, you don't want to be wide on the last corner, and yet McKinley's ahead. A little bit of rub in there, but both over-aggressive from both Matt and Speedster. That was just unnecessary. The Bart in the slipstream here, Willie got the inside. He thought about it, but again, they actually didn't need to cover it in the end.
Bart's very late on the brakes. He's nearly gone into the back of McKinley for you. My goodness me. And now Bart has got a big scenario. Does he fight for the position, or does he fight and does he not fight and let Speedster through? As Racing at Home had a bit of a Scandinavian flick going on there.
Yeah, and Racing Home doesn't need to push this hard, so he needs to just stay ahead, but he wants to keep the gap as big as possible between him and Speedster. I think Bart will let Speedster by here. Yeah.
There's a bit of miscommunication, I think, going on between them both.
Oh, gosh.
And Bart's hanging up. Bart's holding up Speedster.
You're right, yeah, he actually held him up there. But yeah, Matt was very aggressive on the inside. Speedster's initial move, great. Matt's second move was very aggressive, and then it was sort of a Maldonado Hamilton 2012 Valencia, where Speedster stayed exactly where he was, and Matt was closing the door. In Speedster's position, I'd have backed out and just let Matt take the corner, because he's faster anyway, so he'd have been able to catch him. And he could have proved a bump and run there, but because it's now gone tit for tat, can't prove anything.
Here comes Racing Home. Got him easily. Matt has just let him through. Matt has let him through. That was the plan all the time. I literally pulled that one off. It's an absolute team. Bart is still holding up Speedster as well. This is phenomenal stuff. Racing Home, even with Speedster having the fastest lap of the race, even with Emmanuel getting pole as well, Rislholm's going to win the title at this point as Mackinder for you dives it down the inside of Matter. He's wide. Oh, and he's been caught up, and I think that's Speedster that's been caught up. Is it? Or is it Bart? It is Speedster that has been caught up in that. And Bart went wide as well. So both teammates going wide at one point. One having to recover onto the track. One getting caught up in contact. This is very strange. Oh, and they've hit each other. Speedster and Bart have hit each other.
I think Speedster's had enough now. So he got caught up in that contact with Matt because Bart was still holding him up for a long, long time. Racing Home's just made a mistake there, and Mackinder's right on his back bumper now. And then there was miscommunication at the hairpin as well. Speedster went to look on the inside, Bart went wide, and then when Bart checked up and tried to get the car back together, Speedster just didn't check up as well and shunted him off the circuit. So Bart's now off the circuit. Speedster's now taking a position and said, well, if you're not going to play the team game, I'm going to be the team. And you're off the circuit. So that's what's happened there. I imagine
actually,
they've got damage now.
I thought he was going to let him through here. I think he is. Or is he? No, they're going to go side by side. Oh, and there's more contact between them both.
Goodness.
It's literally...
What is going on in this team?
We are seeing a team fall apart right here. I think that's the best way to describe it. The standards of driving is dropping like round 1 and 2 again, if I've got to be honest.
It's, I don't know what's going on. I don't know, it can't just be consistent miscommunication, but something is going wrong between these guys because it's more of a falling out.
That's Matt behind as well.
Matt is looking, I know he's got damage as well, so he's looking to pick up any scraps that happen. But I think Speedster's now just a little lost his head. A lot of it was looking so good for him, and in the space of a random grid and a couple of laps, it can all fall apart again, and that's just so crushing to know that Racing Home's so far up ahead, having fixed the grid and paid someone to block him. So far, he's so far ahead now. It's over. It's over for Speedster.
But I've just seen something very interesting indeed. If Tiger Kart makes one mistake and drops 1.5 seconds, Racing Home will actually win this race because he's got no penalties.
Wow.
Tiger Kart's got 3 seconds.
3? Yeah, well, actually that's really good. He's doing a great job, but he obviously has made some mistakes. And in this track, it seems to be very, very easy to lose a lot of time because it's going to sort of roll into one another. So 1.5 seconds is literally one mistake. So
yeah,
it's not even 1.5 now, it's 1.1.
4.1 seconds the gap. There are the timings, that's the timings, by the way, coming up. I think there's been a little bit more contact between the two teammates. I saw Speedster, I think, going slightly wide. But now Tiger Kart, 3.7 seconds ahead, the gap just extending back out. Racing Home is quicker than Tiger Kart at this stage of the race, which is going to suit him well, because there's only 2 laps of the race left. Racing Home in second, Mackinder for you third. Bart obviously in 4th, Speedster in 5th, ILRT Matter 6th, me all off in 7th. But I think the man that we really forgot about in this race, and the man that's kept it relatively clean, Mackinder for you, I think, deserves 3rd. He's driven a really nice race.
He has, and he's got a little bit he's got a penalty. I think that was for just cutting the track or perhaps running wide.
5 seconds.
Well, actually 5 seconds, that's quite a lot. So that could be 1 2 second or 2 seconds and 1 second, but he's got his head together and he's driving really consistently now, and that was his bugbear from the last GT season because he was in the Lamborghini. He really struggled, and that's not a car that's very easy to be consistent in. It's a very rough, aggressive car that'll just bite your head off as soon as you try and push it a little bit. But the in-team fight here with Matt's holding back. He knows this could get a little bit more scrappy, so Matt's playing it smart, as he has done for most of the season, other than the first couple of laps of this race when he made that mistake. He's done a really good job throughout the season, but Speedster's been quicker across most of the races than Racing at Home, and has just dropped the title. But it looks like Bart's letting him through here. Yeah, Bart's
I think he might be.
through.
Oh, they're going
so
side by
strange,
side, turning towards turn 1. Tiny bit of contact. Up on the curve there, Speedster.
Yeah, why fight each other for so many laps and then let each other through? It just doesn't make sense at all.
But I wonder if there's been a calculation done thinking that Speedster's got a chance of winning the title. I don't think he has, because Racing at Home was 4 points ahead coming into this race. Oh, and there's going to be more contact into the back of them. Bart is back through. They're leading it all on the track. Pretty much literally, they're banging each other off the track. This is a sign of things to come. I wonder if the LMP3, Speedster and Bart, having a bit of a battle. But in the meantime, we're going to cut to what will be...
No, he's got ahead again. There we go.
Still side by side. Matter. Tiger Kart, sorry. He's kept it clean out on track. He's getting quite consistent as well. He's pulled the gap out to Racing at Home. So Racing at Home is not going to win this one. Tiger Kart, though, is going to come around the final corner. Arguably the most consistent driver, I think, out on track in this race. The random grid race will go to Tiger Kart. Fantastic win for him. His first win of the season. That's what you like to see. Racing at Home across the line in second and takes the Touring Car Championship here in CRC. McKinder for you will finish third. Speedster has just picked up a penalty and Bart is going to race him to the line. And then actually McKinder for you, I think, stopped before the line. Oh, he's run out of fuel. He's run out of fuel, but he still picks up fourth.
Oh,
unbelievable.
He lost the podium. Unbelievable. He lost the podium because he ran out of fuel. What we thought we were going to see Speedster doing round one, but no.
Groundsy up to 7th, ahead of ILRT, Matter, Emmanuel. Plenty of penalties getting picked up. Sean has kept going in 10th. And Flaky in 11th. Flaky's driven well. We didn't mention him throughout that race, I think. But Flaky finishing in 11th position. Sean across the line in 10th. And there is Flaky across the line in 11th. And that is the end of the CRC Touring Cars. It is Tiger Kart who wins out on track by 3, but with a penalty of 3 seconds by 1.7 in the end. Racing at Home in second, Speedster in third. It wouldn't have mattered anyways. I think McKinder would have always missed out on that podium. Speedster finishing in third, McKinder in fourth, Mia Owoff in fifth, Bart in sixth, Groundsy seventh, Matter in eighth, Emmanuel in ninth, Sean in 10th, and Flaky rounding off in 11th. Alan, H Racing Green, NLR Yogurt, and Sam Hesketh all retired from the race. And H Racing Green picked up 22 seconds worth of penetties. Thought I'd mention that.
Right?
That was because of a drive-through, yeah. Yeah, he got a drive-through for a... he got a time penalty for a drive-through, I should say. Yeah. Well, race 2. My God.
That did deliver, didn't it? That was very, very, very exciting. And the highs and lows throughout that race. Racing at Home was at the back of the grid. We thought that was it. That he was finished. He was behind Speedster, but no, he picked his way through. He got up to fourth very, very quickly. And then the to and from between Speedster and Bart really lost them so many points, not in the just in the team's championship, but in the race. Like, I don't understand miscommunication. One was letting one through, and then one was hitting the other one off. Very poor teamwork there. It just maybe there wasn't contact on their end, and we just saw it on the stream. But that was rough from them, and unfortunately, that's Speedster's lost the title there, and I'm going to now have to go back and shout at all the other drivers that I paid to stop Racing at Home winning the championship and get my money back. So that's frustrating when I have to go shout at them. But no, he's won that, and it's really what my favourite point of this season was seeing the drivers that really weren't showing very well in the GT cars, seeing them come through and be towards the front. The people like Andy, the people like Tiger Kart, coming up and showing their worth. Yoga obviously is a new driver, coming up and saying, look, I can drive, I just didn't like GTs. You know what I mean? And Matt as well, really showing that he had consistency over a season. And I really enjoyed that because it's sort of an underdog story. Like, oh, hey, who's this guy? Oh, yeah, we know him. He's actually a really good driver. So it's actually... We should do more of this. We should do more of changing the seasons, having little mini-seasons. It's a great idea from the admins to set this up. What was your favourite part, James?
My favourite part, honestly, Hockenheim. Hockenheim, yeah, I thought both races in Hockenheim, in the wet, everyone's driving standards there were top-notch, and the racing was top-notch as well. And if we replicated that across all 3 rounds, then this would have been a season that would have been going down in history as one of CRC's best off-season championships. For me, I reserve the right to that, I'm afraid.
Yeah, it has. Some of the driving has left a black mark on this season. Touring cars is always a bit more brutal, though. So
yeah,
and it's quite difficult to say because it's such a short season. Usually, the first rounds in any of our seasons are quite rough, and usually the last rounds in any seasons full stop are quite rough in any league, in real life or not. But we've had them so close to each other that it makes it look worse over the season. But and then also we picked Ruapuna Park, which is quite a tight circuit as well. It was just really interesting to see these guys go out at hammer and tong and not have things like broken front wings and broken diffusers and things like that. But they could actually do it. They got bumpers, they started ramming and putting their fists up. But in that, you saw the cleaner drivers come through, the Mats, the Andys. And this race, it seemed that McKinder did a pretty good job. You see that come through, and then over a season, as we saw, Matt was still there, even though he'd not been the number one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I totally agree on that, to be honest. And obviously, the touring car off-season has now ended, but we have got the LMP3s to look forward to. We're going to be live for that for the first round in 2 weeks' time at the Daytona Road Circuit. Hopefully, you can come and join us for that one. And to run you through the full calendar, I will do that for you now. Daytona Road is round 1 of the championship, followed by the Algarve, one of my favourite tracks to commentate around, for round 2. Barcelona for round 3, in the wet. Yes, in the wet. Le Mans, 24 hours, Circuit de la Sarthe at night. So that's going to be for round 4. Nürburgring for round 5. Whether is that the GP track or is that the Nordschleife? I think it might be the GP track. Yeah.
Yes, it is.
So the GP track for round 5, Brno for round 6 in the Czech Republic, then Donington Park for round 7 of the championship as well. I cannot wait for Donington Park. I think that's going to be one of the highlights of the season for me. Monza, also in the rain. That's going to be around the GP track. Of course, we're not going around the big foresty area, around the bloody banking and all sorts like that. Goodness me, that'll be hell on earth at Monza for the LMP3s. But it will turn dry within that race as well. Imola for round 9, Sugo for round 10. Hang on, I think I'm miscounting here. No, I'm right. Imola for round 9, Sugo for round 10, Fuji for round 11, Circuit of the Americas for round 12, and Dubai Autodrome finishing off the season on the 29th of August. So that is, 13 weeks worth of racing for the LMP3s. We've got the Indy cars going to be live as well. I sadly will not be commentating on the Indy cars. I think we've got somebody else in for that. But Road America will start us off. That will start on the week commencing the 14th of June. So that'll be on the Sunday. Road America, Indy Grand Prix Circuit, the Indy 500, Long Beach, Watkins Glen in the rain, Texas, the Texas Roval, as it's being called on the graphic, Imola, Sugo in the rain, Fuji, Circuit of the Americas, and Laguna Seca. Who came up with that idea to end off the season at Laguna Seca? Hell on earth it's going to be there. Goodness me. Hell on earth. But anyways, those are the calendars for the season. Obviously the LMP3 series is going to be starting off on a Saturday. The Competitive Racing Club IndyCar series is going to be starting off on a Sunday as well. And myself and Professional are going to be commentating on LMP3, if I'm right in saying.
Yes. He's now PC Master Race. He's got himself a PC and he's doing a lot on there as well. So that's where he's gone. He is looking to come back to CRC for when ACC comes out at the end of June for PlayStation. But until then, he's going to commentate. And that's going to be really cool to see him in the commentary box because he's a very analytical driver. He's very good at reading car behaviour, good at reading races long term as well. Something he taught me very well, how to read a race sort of long term and think longer and save mental energy. And he's a very, very good racer. So I'm really keen to see how he can do over the course of the season in the com box because you talk about contact. The LMP3s are very, very, very fragile, almost as fragile as the Formula cars in this game. So any side contact back from the midpoint of the car will break the rear wing. So these guys are going to be walking on eggshells, desperate not to bang the car up during the race. So we'll see a completely different style of racing there.
Well, it is going to be 2 weeks away for the LMP3s, and hopefully you will all join us for that. The next time we're going to be live on the TTTV channel will, of course, be Tuesday night for TTL F2, back in our home of F1, and it is, if I'm not mistaken, it's Russia for TTL F2 this week. Myself and hopefully Aidan Carter is going to be joining me. I know he's had internet issues in the past. Yeah, the F2 streams are fantastic. The racing is always really great.
Good. Yeah, because the cars are a little bit slower. They're all equal, and it seems that people have a bit of a handle over them better much, so they handle slightly better than the F1 cars on the game. So it's really interesting to watch those races.
It's going to be fantastic, I think, and hopefully you can join us for that. We've got Mini League as well. Mini League 1 and Mini League 2 going to be taking you through on Wednesday. I think I'm once again back on Wednesday, so it's going to be quite hard for me. It's literally been 3 weeks in a row I've been doing Mini League commentary, so I had to fill in for Aidan last week as well. So, yeah, okay. That's going to be quite interesting. I deserve a break, but I'm there. I'm there once again this week. So I think, honestly, yeah, it's going to be fantastic. TTL F1 on Thursday as well, and then we've got TTL F1 League 2 on Friday as well, and then we've got a break Saturday, so goodness knows what we're going to be doing. League of Europe's finished, CRC's finished. I might have a break weekend next week. Be fantastic.
Oh yeah, yeah, but we better let these people go then and end this stream.
We will. So thank you. Yeah, I'm just going on constantly. Thank you so much for everyone that was tuning in. My girlfriend logs into her PS4 on my account by mistake. Didn't have time to get back in, says Andy.
No.
That is so unfortunate.
No. You're kidding.
Just saw that in the comments.
No. Oh, Andy, I'm so sorry. That's just terrible. And you were doing a fantastic job as well, keeping your nose clean. But
what if we...
Yeah, of all the things that happen...
Can we get his girlfriend to sign up for the LMP3s in 2 weeks' time?
I think she'd be getting a bollocking at the moment for jumping on the PlayStation at the moment.
Anyways, we will end the stream here. Thank you so much for tuning in to Project Cars 2. Thank you so much, Ash, for being alongside me in the commentary box as well, and to everyone that has participated and or organised as well the CRC Touring Car Series. The next time we'll be live, as I say, on Tuesday, will be for TTL F2. So for myself and Ash, we will bid you farewell. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.